now. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on Messages from Heaven podcast with me, Medium Bonnie Page. And today I have a wonderful guest with me. Her name is Bridge Jones, and I'm going to let her explain what she does and how to get in touch with her at the end of the show. But Bridge has been a 20-year psychic medium in Massachusetts. We've worked together. We are colleagues. She's amazing. So she's very seasoned. And I asked Bridge to come on today and talk about astral projection. Is it real? Well, let's see. And stick around to the end because I have a real life story for you that you don't want to miss. So let's welcome Bridge. Hi, Bridge.
Hi, Bonnie. Thank you so much for having me today. It's just wonderful to be here.
I'm so happy to have you. So we're talking today, Bridge, about astral projection. This is often referred to as an out of body experience in which an individual's consciousness separates from their physical body. And that might sound scary, but it's really not. And lots of times it's a lot of fun. So we're going to be talking about that today. We're going to talk about how our consciousness leaves our bodies. But there's a couple little things I want to let everyone in on because everyone might know, Bridge, what the astral plane is, but they might not. Do you want to explain that or do you want me?
Well, everybody thinks astral projections is, the Hollywood version. You know what I mean? Like movies like Inception and Doctor Strange and the Marvel's fantasies and things like that. Although, we as psychics would like to take credit and say, oh, well, yes, of course it's just like that. It's not. And the astral plane is really an area in your subconscious, if you take a little Freudian approach, or if you're looking at it as spiritual approach, it's intervention from God to help you reach some of the self-actualization areas in life, and also to move your soul and your soul purpose, and to kind of activate you, to motivate you, to move you forward in your life to the astral plane, which meaning is that, everybody's experienced it, even as a small child to an adult, often in dream state, but it's real. It's there for you, and it's the
real.
tool from God.
So the astral plane also is this world that is encompassed by spirits, our loved ones, our angels, other entities, right? So we go to this astral plane. And this is often called the realm of emotions and desires. Okay. So the astral body, right, is thought to be the subtle energy body that we all have. We all have this subtle energy body that can very easily separate from our physical body. And lots of times during sleep, but we'll give you some ideas with that. Sleep, meditation, right?
Yes, it's during periods of deep relaxation where you're trusting in yourself and you're opening yourself, your third eye and your chakras, to experiencing your soul's purpose. And that's why it's so meaningful when people go through astral projections, is because your physical body is here, but your spiritual body has moved forward into another area, to the astral plane, or sometimes to places in their future, in their past, in their present. And it's all about healing and recovery.
Our we want to leave our body sometimes. It's heavy here on earth. The physical body, the physical energy is heavy. But when we travel, there are so many experiences that we can experience, right? And it is through that state of relaxation, either with meditation, or you can get there with breathing exercises as well. So let's ask our viewers, have you ever been sleeping and all of a sudden you go like this, a little shake? That is actually your soul coming back into its body from being off exploring. I always tell people that. So I love it. Our soul's like, yes, let's go. Let's have these new experiences. So there is a vibration there with that as well. And a feeling of vibrations or tingling may arise as the astral body even begins to separate. So there,
Yes.
yes. The separation, the consciousness detaches from the physical body. Now, it doesn't always happen when you're sleeping, right? There's meditation, there's going into a state of channeling, even, you know, our little, we can go visit places and do things. We're not
Absolutely.
stuck
After a
our bodies.
wonderful meditation, for
So there
example,
can
in
be
circle.
a feeling of floating or rising. Yeah, Bridge, what was that, hon? I think
I was just pointing out how many times that we have done circle. And then we ask people, what did you feel when you were, in the meditative state? Where Bonnie gave forth a beautiful meditation. And so many people have said, I'm flying. They definitely, the bird flying is astral projections, and then coming back into their body at the end of the meditation. But above all is the healing power and the release that they felt. They let something go. Some
yes,
emotional blockage
yes.
got dropped during the astral projections. That's one of the reasons why, I always encourage clients, embrace this. This is a tool that we have for healing.
It's
And
something
it's a
that
wonderful
we
thing.
can use
Absolutely.
during our lifetime here, to have a little escape, to have a healing, to grow in our knowledge as well. Explain, Bridge, what you're telling everybody what a circle is, because some
Oh,
people might
yes,
not
yes,
know what a circle is. So I'm going to let you
yes.
explain that.
What I meant was in circle is that people who are interested in sharing their meditation together, where
Yes.
where it's like a 15, 20-minute meditation is started. Often it starts with a prayer or asking to set an intention for the highest and best good. And that together we create a circle and our vibrations are raised to the highest, and the third eye is activated and opened. And that, yes, our third eye, that's right. I encourage everybody to know your third eye.
Our third eye is our seat of clairvoyance, clear seeing into the spiritual world. So you might get a glimpse in when your eyes are closed, or sometimes when they're open, but definitely in meditation or breath work. Your third eye, you can actually see an eye. Some people don't understand that, but sometimes, and we can perfect that, I guess I want to say, opening your third eye, where you
With
actually
practice.
see an eye with eyelashes in the middle of your forehead with your eyes closed. So that's
It is a neat
clear
thing.
seeing. So when our astral, our consciousness is traveling, we get to see different things.
For example, during this circle, when we finish our meditation and the clients come back, often we hear in their story is that they have, flying, release of emotional baggage and things like that. That's astral projection, where you're giving up your worries and all that to God, basically, and you're moving forward. And the practice of meditation is very helpful in astral projection, but it's also prevalent in your sleep and also during operations and surgeries. So,
I remember having a surgery. I had a little cyst out on my nose, and the person that gives you the gas there's a name for that, right, Bridge? Anesthesiologist.
anesthesiologist.
He said, "Where do you want to go?" And I told him Hawaii, but in my head I said, "Beam me up, beam me up." I wanted to see something new. So, and I just want to step back on the flying. When I was a little girl, I would want to go to bed because I could picture myself flying above the trees, and it was so freeing. So, if you've had a flying dream, it's probably not a dream. It's probably you experiencing something new.
Yes, absolutely. That is the most prevalent astral projection dream. I wanted to talk a little bit. I unfortunately had extensive surgery in 2022, and I spent 7 days in the ICU under some very heavy medications. But during that time, as a Reiki practitioner, I would go to each patient's room. The ICU was like a spoke, like a wheel. And I spent time in my dream state, astral projecting to each of the patients and doing Reiki on them to
That's
help for the
amazing.
best outcome. And I seriously, Bonnie, I thought I must be crazy, except for the fact that the nurse came in the next morning and she looks at me and she goes, "Oh, you're the light worker that was working on everyone last night."
Oh,
Reiki is very prevalent in the hospitals. Astral projection, I went through and I did this for several nights. I was
Rich,
in the
let's tell
ICU for
people,
7
let's
days.
tell the viewers what Reiki is.
Yes, Reiki is the study of using healing energy to help heal physical manifestations in the body, as well as emotional, mental support. And it's a very ancient practice, medical practice that came from Japan. It's studied widely in the United States. Bonnie is quite an expert in Reiki herself.
I love Reiki. I love
I
Reiki.
do too.
I
I
think
love the fact that with Reiki, you can do remote Reiki, which is just like
that's
astral
what I was going to
projection.
say. That was so amazing of you being in a hospital bed, but you can still deliver Reiki to other people that way. It's all energy, everyone. It's all energy, and energy travels.
I wanted to let the clients know and the people that are listening today that if you feel like you've had an astral projection dream or meditation, and it could even be something like sitting in a chair and staring out your garden, and suddenly you're in Rome and you're walking through the ancient ruins, you can ask your spirit guides or God for for some evidence that you really did travel. Because I do that daily in my practice. Sometimes I look at things and I go, "Oh no, this could not have happened to me. I did not go to that house in England. I did not do that." And then the affirmation will come in, and it'll come in a subtle form. You might be scrolling through the computer and you'll see what you saw the night before and saying, "Oh, I've never seen that before."
I
That's
was
where
going
the
to ask
saying
you, how
deja
can
vu
they
comes
ask
from.
for evidence? But the evidence will appear, you're saying.
Absolutely. And you got to believe and trust into yourself. That's one of the reasons why we have this ability to astral project. Everybody does. It's not limited to us psychics, though we do enjoy doing it. That the facts is that anybody can do it in a conscious state, unconscious state, or in a state of relaxed being. Like, for example, for some people, when you run, you're in your zone and you're running. That's a
And
relaxed
you're at
state.
a higher vibration. So spirit
Yes.
just wants me, they're just giving me something to bring up. So if I can jump in just for a second, because they're giving me the picture of someone in a coma state, and we have clients coming to us saying, "Oh, my mom and dad was in a coma, or my child, were they in pain? Were they this?" They were out of their body traveling. They were looking, they were watching, they were not in the pain of what was going on, right? If we're sitting, we're laying there and we're in a coma, those coma patients can even come through during a reading and talk like they're sitting right next to you, because they are.
Absolutely,
You
Bonnie. That's
understand that?
happened to me many times. I'm doing a reading and somebody obviously wants to speak to their loved one, but it's not their loved one who's coming through. It's their loved one at the nursing home sleeping. It's their loved one that is in a unconscious state, but they come through. I just recently did a reading and the woman was like, I really want to talk to my mother. I was like, okay, but I have this elderly gentleman here, and I explained his clothes and what he was wearing and how
Mhm.
polite he was. And she's like, that's my dad. He's still alive. And I go, well, he's here right now,
He
and he'd
has
like to
a
have some
message for
eggs.
you. I remember, Bridge, the first time that that happened to me. I was brand new being a professional medium, and I brought through this lady, blah, 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 and I'm giving her all this evidence, just like you were. And the lady goes, that's my mother, and she's in Florida. I go, well, she has a message for you. So I learned that that's also their higher self coming through, right? So that's the very best of them, their higher self. But they have a message. They have a message that they need to get through, and they're not able to. So they come through a medium right? Like,
Yes,
and you're just
definitely,
like giving
especially
this
if they're
message.
not able to talk and say what their needs are and they come to us and they directly tell us what they need. So
I have to tell you, I usually tell my client too, I'm going to give you all of this information, but your person's not going to remember it in the physical world. So, but this is what is in their soul and their heart.
right,
Yeah.
that is so true.
So when we're traveling like that, I'm just looking down at some notes I made. We can pick up insights, right, Bridge?
Hmm.
Spiritual guidance, because you have a whole team up there trying to give each and every one of us. You don't have to be a psychic, a medium, a healer. Every person has a whole group of spiritual guides up there having higher consciousness, and they all are trying to help us on an individual basis go through this journey we call life. So I don't ever want anyone to feel like they're alone. And there's one other thing Spirit's bringing up, to ask all of the viewers, how many times have you kind of come to consciousness, but you're visiting a loved one in heaven? I do it all the time. I'll hear me and my mom talking, or I'll be in my home that I grew up in, or that my camp was at a lake. I will be there, and my
And
siblings
you'll
will
travel
be there with
back to
me.
it.
Yeah. So yeah, and you're able to do that. And when people say to me, "Oh, I'm not going to see my loved one until I pass," I'm always like, "No, we visit up there. They visit us. You might not always remember, but I promise you it's true."
It's so true, Bonnie. Another reoccurring astral projection dream is going home again, where you're entering the door and you're smelling the food in the kitchen and you smell the yard and you feel the cat up against your leg. I mean, you know that home is now not what it was in your childhood, but you can astral project, you can change the time sequence. And that is a very special, comforting dream for people, especially those that are homesick and in need of that, and it's frequent. And it's such a blessing that we have that ability to walk through this threshold, to go through the rooms again, to feel the comfort of that old blanket that we had when we were a kid that was falling apart. All those things are there for us always, and that's another gift of astral projection, is the appreciation of where we've been.
And it's
It
almost tangible when you're going through it. Like, I'll put my hand up, and I grew up in an old historic schoolhouse, and I'll actually put my hand up and touch the woodwork. It's white big woodwork, and I'll just go like this, and I I feel the wallpaper. It's just strange what you want to experience again, but you can, and I can see my dad sitting on the couch. I mean, it's a wonderful thing. So I would recommend, before you go to bed, having an intention to travel where you want to go. One night I woke up, I was flying above my little town in Winchendon, Mass. And I looked at me like this and I said, I'm flying through town. Nothing's going on. It's all dark. And so there is something about setting an intention to be able to do this, though, whether you're doing a meditation or just before you go to bed at night, say, hey, I want to travel somewhere. Maybe you really want to see Paris. Show me Paris. You can do that. Right, Bridge?
Absolutely. And setting the intention and doing it consistently. If you set the intention every night, I want to go to Paris, and the first night, oh, didn't work. You can do it 100 more times. It's okay. It's part of the process. The more that you open up, as we spoke about that third eye, the more
that's practice. That's practice, guys.
Some people are natural in it, and the ones that are natural are children. So parents out there, listen to your children's dreams. They'll probably have a message for you, because when they astral project, they may go and visit your ancestors to have something to share. They may go and visit your future to let you know things to share. There's no time constraints. It can be past, present, future. Your children their third eyes are already wide open. They're ready and receptive. If there's, Mommy, last night I had the best dream and I was flying and I saw this beautiful house on the hill and blah, blah, blah. Write down those details, because I guarantee you, with practice, you will be driving through a town and see a beautiful house on the hill. Those things are real. It happens all the time.
Let me tell viewers, though, that children and animals, but children at least up to the age of 7, they're so much more open to the spiritual world and all of these gifts because they haven't started school yet. So their analytical brain has not really kicked in, and that stress of learning and math. And so their creative side of their brain is just flowing and very big. So Bridge was straight on when she's like, listen to your kids. They're telling you the truth. Even if they say, this is a little different, but if they say, I have a playmate that I play with, they probably do. I did. As Bridge was saying, kids are so open. Since the time I was 4 years old, I could walk through my house and I would see spirits walking around in it. So a little different than astral projection. I was actually here in the physical body, but just to let you know how much more there is. Spirit's telling me to tell you there's so much more than meets the eye. You just have to believe and have faith.
The other thing that's nice about setting that intention in astral projection is when you're in that relaxed state before you go to sleep and everything, it helps you make a decision. It helps you with that intention to realize your soul's purpose of what you really want, what's really important. All through the day, you're doing so many multitasking, and we're all responding to so many electronic devices and things like that. And just really settling your mind and realizing what's important to you, whether it's health, relationships, physical location. I mean, there's just so many areas that you can set your intention for the highest and best good. And then you're really listening to yourself, which is something we don't do all day. We can't listen to ourselves. We're too busy responding to everyone else.
Too busy. So I just told a client this morning, when you quiet your mind, like in the middle of the night around 3 o'clock, right? Because that's a spiritual hour where the veil gets its thinnest. when we learn to quiet our mind is when the spirit world can communicate with us. So I love how you're saying, quiet your mind before you go to bed, and go to bed with the intention, I'm going to quiet my mind, and hey, who do I want to see tonight? Where do I want to go? What do I want to learn? Who do I want to talk to? And it really is about setting the intention. And so spirit's just telling me to tell you, ask and you shall receive. So without asking, you might not have the experiences that you could if you just kind of give it up to God and say, what do I need to know?
That's right. It's always there for you.
Now, Bridge, I think you wanted to talk about telling the viewers a couple of movies that they could see.
Oh, yes. I'm a big fan of giving homework during a YouTube. And one
Homework's
of the things
okay, though.
is that I like fun homework. So there is some fantastic movies about astral projections. And one of them is called Heaven for Real, and it's free on the Roku channel. And it stars a very handsome Greg Kinnear. And
I'm
it's
writing
about a
it
little
down.
boy who had surgery. And during surgery, he saw his mother in the emergency room calling all their friends and asking them to pray for him. He saw his father in the chapel screaming at God and saying, "This isn't fair. I've done everything for you. Why are you going to take my son? How could you do this?" And it was very graphic. And it's a true story. So it's kind of fun to know that, this astral projection that this little boy had all these repercussions in this family's life. I'm not going to give it away. It's a feel-good
Yeah,
story,
don't
though.
tell the end. We want to watch it.
Yes, but it all came about because after surgery, the little boy looked at him and said, "Daddy, why were you yelling at God while I was in surgery? And why was mommy calling everybody?" And he had, descriptions of every detail that they were wearing. And why was the surgeon working on me? And why were they doing this to me? He had a million questions, and there's no way that he would know all this if it wasn't for astral projection. Then there's another classic movie. It's called Inception. Now, Inception is starring a Hollywood megastar, Leonardo DiCaprio. Everybody's got to watch it just because the stage and set design and the concept of time travel being fluid, and it's all about astral projection. That's what the characters do.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, I have to, for the Gen Xers, Doctor Strange, the Marvel character movie. Doctor Strange's superpower is astral projection. He can move anywhere in
Oh,
time. He's the biggest astral projector of them all. And
goes
it's
where
the
he wants when he
about it.
wants to go there.
Yes, yeah. So that's why I call it homework, because those of you that are interested in astral projection, it's everywhere. You just don't know it because you're not used to looking for it. But when you see it, when you listen to your kids' dreams, or you hear your neighbor say, "Oh, I I think I've done this before." Deja vu is astral projections. We've been there. That's why it's so familiar. You'll see that it's
That's
really a part of
amazing when
everyday
that
life.
happens to me. I'm like, I've done that. I've said that. Oh my goodness. I've already done this before.
Absolutely. And there's a fabulous album by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young called Deja Vu, and everyone should listen to it when they want to relax
I am
and try
writing
some
all of these
astral
down. Who is that
projections.
by?
Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Okay, I'm writing it down. And so I would like to tell a personal story of what happened that even me as a psychic medium who grew up in the house seeing spirit walking around and everything else still kind of surprised me one night. And Bridge, I don't know if I told you this story or not, but I was teaching at Lilydale Assembly, which is a whole town that you mediums and healers can live there. You can't live there if you're not a medium or a healer, but they invite other mediums and healers to come in and teach, and you stay there. and the energy is like really, really off the wall. In fact, it can be a little scary for me. I'm such a baby. I shouldn't be a baby, but I am. I've seen so many things there. But I brought my assistant with me, and my assistant Brenda, and we were sharing a room. I will admit that sometimes I got pretty freaked out having my own room there, because you're like, spirits are like everywhere, and they don't care if you're a scaredy cat. I had the door go back and forth. I had the lights go on. I had and so Brenda and I were sharing a room, and we had twin beds. And so she was here and we had our nightstand, and we ended up doing a meditation, and her bed was right here. But I had to go teach, and it was a night class. And so I was kidding with because I'm older, and it was like just 7 to 10 or something. And I was kidding with my students saying, oh man, what are you guys going to do tonight? They're like, what are your plans, Bonnie? Right? And so I'm thinking, well, I'm just going to bed. But I said to Brenda, what are your plans tonight? And she said, it's my brother's birthday. I'm going to go up there and celebrate with him. And I just kind of smiled and laughed. Yeah. I know you can do that. But she had that intention of, it's my brother's birthday and I'm spending it with him. And her brother was in heaven, just
Yes.
letting you know. So that night we did a meditation, we fell asleep for some reason. And I say for some reason, but I always know that when spirit is showing me something, it's because they want me to teach about it. But I kind of sit up and I look across. I'm not kidding, guys. Here's Brenda's body, but her soul, her head started going like this, and she was going just like that, just like I've seen a picture of, like a soul leaving your body. The head left first. And me, I'm in that dreamy kind of unawakened, and I went, did she just die? Like, I said that to myself. I'll be truthful with you. Did she just die? And I was so afraid. I just put the covers back and I go, she didn't die. She didn't die. And I just drifted back to sleep. So the next morning, I look over like this, like, oh man. And here's Brenda, and she's just getting out of bed. And I go, so how did you enjoy your night? And she said, I told you I was going to spend it with my brother.
Bonnie, I remember when you got back from Lilydale, both you and Brenda confirmed that story. Both of you took me aside and told me about what happened. And it's not because you were in Lilydale, it's because your third eye was wide open and it was ready to see it. And it sounds like such a fantastic experience and proof of astral projection. Often I have a collection of very old psychic books, and they always show psychic projection as exactly how you said it. You see
I can believe it.
The body splitting,
It's like,
moving, boop, exactly.
I went like this. But it was her head leaving the way. It was just like a picture I looked at after, where the soul was leaving that way. So I don't know if we're kind of tethered that way or not, but that's how the body left.
Exactly.
I just can't believe that I got to see another soul, like, actually departing its physical body.
And I love the physical evidence afterwards where Brenda says, I told you I was going to heaven.
And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. So that was pretty neat. Now, Bridge, you have some ways where people, crystals or things, ideas that I actually haven't heard about that can help with us traveling, I guess. Do you want to tell everyone?
Sure. First off is to set the intention to, use your dream state as a function. And what I have here is it's a little stone. It says dream, and I keep it by my bedside with my tarot cards, because I always want to energize them by the light of the moon and near me and near my soul purpose, as well as some stalactite. Now, this is a very inexpensive crystal. It's a big slab, and they make it in big thin slabs like this because you slide this under your bed, and it helps you have pleasant dreams, astral projection, better contact with your spirit guides. It's available in all crystal stores and things like that. And it's designed just to slide this right under your
And
bed.
I've never seen
Now,
it. Can you spell that?
stalactite, I'm not very good at spelling, but
That's okay.
stalactite, Salitticite. And it's a very light crystal that is kind of like shale that comes in pieces like this. And it's very inexpensive. It's not meant to break the budget. You're not going to have to buy jewels to have sweet dreams, but it's very important. Now, care and maintenance of your crystals. You should always clean them by the light of the moon, preferably on a full moon with cold running water. So you just dump your crystals in your sink when the moon's out and run them through cold running water. Set the intentions for them. Each of your crystals have different purposes and things like that, and we can talk about that on another podcast.
We will.
But
We'll do a podcast about crystals.
absolutely, because everybody needs tools. And they also work as reminders, because I know this slab is under my bed, so I know every full moon cycle, I am blessed to have a skylight, so I look up and I go, ooh, full moon. I think I'll run some cold water and set a new intention, and maybe I'll go
That is so
flying
amazing.
tonight.
I know for me, a full moon means that I'm not going to sleep that night. But I'm going to get me a piece of that, and I'm going to try that. So, I hope you viewers try that as well, because each crystal has different healing properties to them, and they're from the earth. So they're just amazing tools. And using tools, that'll be another podcast too, because tools
Yes,
are a good thing. They actually are
they
much a good thing, and there are many tools.
And so always a good gift for somebody's birthday is a dream journal. And it doesn't have to say dream journal, but give somebody a journal and say, here, write down your dreams. They're all there for you. And that also helps manifest more pleasant dreams, astral projections, setting your soul purpose and intention, knowing yourself. It helps with healing, self-esteem, counterbalances against, depressive forces that we have externally, which we're not going to go into in this call, but there's a lot of things that it can do to help you. And then there's the fact with astral projection, they're often reoccurring dreams. You will often have dreams of going back home to your childhood home. You'll have dreams of flying. That is very prevalent. And, when you can see it, hear it, feel it, smell it, using all your senses, those dreams are real, and trust in yourself.
And I just want to jump in. If you're having what you think is a dream of your loved one, but you can hear them talking, you can see their clothes, it's colorful, that's a visit. That's you visiting them. So it can
Absolutely.
be done. Bridget, do you have anything else? Or and viewers, if you have a question for us when you're watching this, put them in the comments, please. And please subscribe. This is my brand new podcast. I'm loving doing it. It's so much fun. And people have been texting me going, I watched your podcast. And it's great, because this podcast is about everything spiritual, but only with the highest and the greatest intention,
Vibration.
right? Everything we do, my last book was even called All with God, Jesus, and the Angels, because when you are doing this work, and I just want to say that to everyone out there, you do want to put your intention around being totally surrounded by the white light, God's white light of protection. So, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Bonnie. It's all about the highest vibration, the greatest power, the belief, and the power of healing and love. and it's all there for all of us. There's no limitations. It's boundless. People who right now, you go to sleep and your heart's heavy, set your intention and know that you will be healed. Know that your prayers will be answered. Trust in that. And they will often come through in an astral projection dream, because people don't believe themselves. They don't believe that things will change, or things will get better, that things will come through. But when you have it in color, when you can see it, smell it, hear it, taste it, then you start to believe and manifest this, and go through and create that higher good for yourself. So
But we're
it's
going to
it's
want you all out there to try this. Because I think we've given them some good ideas, right? Meditation,
oh, absolutely.
how to make your intention, how to set your sights on, traveling a little bit, and always know you're going to come back to your body, right, Bridge? We didn't say that, but
Absolutely.
you cannot get lost out there. You are tethered, right, Bridge?
Yes, a matter of
I'm
fact,
glad
the
I
old
just thought
time.
of that. People are like, I'm not traveling out there. I might just.
Right. No, that you're always tethered. An astral projection dream, when you wake up from it, it's almost like you pull back and forth, because there's something called a soul tethering. It's like a silver um,
Record.
uh, rope or attachment to you, and you always come back into your body. That's guaranteed. It's
You
just
cannot
a
get lost.
temporary
And let
state.
me tell you, I love visiting heaven. And sometimes I stay too long and they kick me out. My brother's out there. Nope, you can't see dad. And I get whooped right back into my body. So nobody's going to let you stay there, guys, because I've already tried it just because it's light and fluffy up there. I didn't want to die. I just wanted to visit longer. Okay. But
It
they
is
kick you out when
comforting.
it's time. So, Bridge, tell everyone how they can find you,
Oh,
all of
sure.
that stuff. And because
Yes.
let me tell you, Bridge is a wonderful, wonderful reader, and she has the kindest heart and the purest of intention. And she's going to give you a wonderful reading. And she's an amazing teacher, too. So, thank you for being here. But go ahead and tell everyone.
Well, first off, thank you so much, Bonnie. And like I could say, you two are an amazing reader and amazing medium, and we do it because we have this gift that we want to share with everybody, because there's a message for everyone. If people would
Absolutely.
like a reading from me, I'm at Salem Sisters Magical Treasures in Fitchburg, Mass. You can book readings with me directly online there. The phone number over there is I have to apologize because I was taking notes, and
It's okay.
again,
You
I'm
can put
at
it down in the comments if you don't find it.
okay, I found it. I'm at Salem Sisters Magical Treasures, and they're on Main Street in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. Their number's 978-401-2194. Also, you can go to their website, which is Salem Sisters Magical Treasures at gmail.com. And I'm on the website, and you can book directly with me.
Wonderful.
Um,
And
so
everyone knows how to find me, bonniepage.medium.com. And of course, YouTube and Facebook, everything's Medium Bonnie Page. So I'm always here for you as well. And I, I think I had a great time, Bridge. So
me
thank
too.
you so much for joining me. And I can't wait for everybody to see this and hear this. And I look forward to seeing everyone next week. So I just want to send out a lot of love and kisses. Just a lot of healing vibes as well. The world's kind of crazy right now. Just know that, them guys up there, they got it under control. Sometimes we just got to have that faith. But I know that it is hard to go through sometimes, whatever you're going through on this life's journey. So sending you everybody out a big hug as well.
Me too. Blessings in spirit to you all.
Yes,
Bye.
thank you. Bye,
Bye.
Bridge.
Bye.